Hey y'all, welcome back to Today in Music History for August 3rd. It was 38 years ago today in 1987 that Def Leppard released their fourth and biggest selling album, Hysteria. It took them 4 years to get it out because they initially went in to record with Jim Steinman producing. Steinman was, of course, the one who wrote all those classic Meatloaf songs. But it didn't work out, and that stuff was eventually scrapped. Then on December 31st, 1984, Rick Allen got in that wreck where he lost his arm. He had to learn to play with just one arm, and I'll always give credit to Def Leppard for sticking that out. Eventually, Mutt Lange returned to produce the album, and it's released in 1987. It tops the UK charts on release, but doesn't hit number one in America until July of 1988 on the strength of the single "Pour Some Sugar on Me." Ooh. Sorry, I've never been a fan of that song. It's also the last Def Leppard album to feature guitarist Steve Clark before he passed away in 1991. And it was 54 years ago today in 1971 that Paul McCartney announced that he had formed another band. That's right, Wings officially began on this day in 1971. He, of course, formed it with his wife Linda McCartney and former Moody Blueser Denny Lane. They went on to have massive success and picked up a couple Grammys along the way. Maybe not quite as successful as his old band, the Beatles, but then again, who could be? But speaking of the Beatles, it was 62 years ago today in 1963 that the Beatles played the Cavern Club in Liverpool for the very last time. Spots here. They had apparently played the Cavern Club 292 times. But during this last one, there was a power outage, and so Paul McCartney and John Lennon did an acoustic version of When I'm 64. But of course, that song wouldn't be released for another 4 years. And on that same day, the Beatles made their Billboard chart debut when From Me to You made an appearance on the singles chart. It peaked at number 116, and of course, it had been a number one in the UK, but the US wasn't quite ready for the Beatles yet. We had to wait a few more months until, Beatlemania. And happy birthday to DJ Spinderella from Salt and Peppa, who turns 54 today. James Hetfield of Metallica is 62, and Tony Bennett would have been 99 today. He passed away in 2023, just 2 weeks before his 97th birthday. And when his duet with Amy Winehouse, Body and Soul, was released in 2011, it made Tony Bennett the oldest living artist ever to chart on the Hot 100. He was 85 at the time. Tune in tomorrow for another Today in Music History. We made it. We made it through. Huzzah!